Are you wondering if Elementor is the right page builder for your website or blog? If you answered yes, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to cover all of the pros and cons of Elementor. I'll answer your frequently asked questions and share my honest review so that you can decide if you should build your website with Elementor in 2021. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name's Katie. I'm here to help you DIY your website with ease and build a thriving business online. So I've actually been using Elementor for the last 3 years. In 2018, I decided to build my own Christian lifestyle blog with it, and I have since gone on to design dozens of strategic websites for my clients using Elementor and WordPress. Before we get into the reasons why I chose to use Elementor and still continue to use it to this day, let's talk about what it is and what can you use it for on your blog or your website. So first, Elementor is a responsive page builder plugin for WordPress that you would add on top of your theme. It has a visual drag and drop editor that allows you to build, edit, and preview in the same screen without having to know any coding or toggle back and forth between the preview and the editing screens. So with Elementor, you can create almost anything with it, from your traditional pages like your homepage and your about page, to conversion-focused landing pages like your lead magnets or your upsells, to pop-ups that allow you to grow your email list or promote a particular product or service. You can also customize your entire theme with it. So you can update your blog pages, your 404 pages, your site-wide header and footer. You can also update your shop pages if you are using WooCommerce. The options are really limitless. Elementor does have a free version available, and that will give you access to 40 of their basic widgets out of the 90 that are available in total. Now, if you want to unlock all of the features of Elementor, then you would need to upgrade to the Pro version. Now, inside of the Pro version, you're going to unlock an additional 50 widgets, plus you're going to be able to access the theme builder, the form builder, the pop-up builder, the WooCommerce shop page builder, and it's going to give you access to their page template library, which has over 300 page templates that are pre-designed to make building your website a lot easier. As for the pricing of Elementor, you're going to get all of that in the Pro version for just $49 a year for a single license. If you need 3 licenses because you're building multiple websites, that starts at $99 a year for the pack. And if you need more than 3 licenses, then you can go to katyboykin.com/Elementor and explore all of their pricing packages for their licenses. And if you have not gotten started with Elementor Pro yet and you are ready to take advantage of their full features, you can go to, again, that website is katyboykin.com/Elementor, or click on the link in the description below to get started. So now that you have a good overview about what Elementor is, how you can use it on your website, and what it costs, let's dive into the pros and the cons, and we'll start with the pros first. Pro number 1 is that Elementor is extremely easy to use, especially if you are not tech savvy and you don't know how to code. Once you are inside that Elementor editor, you can easily import a template or a block, or start dragging in those widgets, making a few changes to match your brand and business, and boom, you have a beautiful web page that you made on the fly. Pro number 2 is that Elementor packs a ton of functionality into this one plugin. So before using Elementor, I needed to add a lot of third-party plugins that, while they may have been free, they're kind of weighing my site down. I needed 25 plugins in order just to get the same functionality that Elementor is giving me in this one. Not only that, but I was using lead pages before in order to grow my blog and my email list. And I no longer need that. I get to save a ton of money every single month by eliminating that altogether. So Elementor is really valuable because it allows you to cut down on extra plugins, especially the ones that are third party that are costing you extra money. And the third pro is the amount of customization that you get with Elementor. Elementor makes it ridiculously easy to customize every square inch of your website. I remember when I was building my very first blog, I was frustrated because every time I would test out a theme or try out a theme, there were limitations. I would go into the appearance settings and I didn't have the capability to update a certain font that I wanted, or there were limitations on what I could do in the header or the footer. And once I added Elementor, all of those limitations and frustrations went away because I was in complete control. I got to customize exactly how I wanted my blog and my website to look. And if you are in that boat where you are just completely frustrated by trying to get your existing theme to work without hiring another developer, Elementor would be a really great tool for you. That all brings me to point number 4, and that is the price and the value. Elementor is a no-brainer because of what you get for the price. For $49 a year, that is all that you have to pay to eliminate the need for tons of other plugins, to have this ease of use without needing any code to customize literally every square inch of your website. Like, yes, it's a no-brainer to use Elementor. For the fifth pro, I would say that Elementor has really amazing integration capabilities. I personally love how Elementor's form seamlessly integrates with my ConvertKit to grow my list on autopilot. But Elementor also integrates with more than just ConvertKit. They also integrate with ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, GetResponse, MailChimp, and a ton of other marketing tools. Plus, you can integrate with WordPress plugins like Rank Math and LearnDash. Plus, you can integrate social networks, plus other tools like fonts, reCAPTCHA, and icons. The sixth pro for Elementor are the responsive design controls. So as you're editing a page, you can toggle between the desktop, tablet, and mobile view and customize every single element per each device. So for instance, if your font was set to 55 pixels on desktop and you wanted it to be 30 pixels on mobile, you could customize that to get the exact look and feel that you want for every single device. Honestly, I could keep going on and on because Elementor is extremely feature rich. However, for the sake of brevity, I think I've hit the high points. Now let's go ahead and talk about the cons. No tool is perfect. No tool comes without some negatives or some downsides. So let's be honest, let's be real, and let's talk about what those are together. So the first con I want to address is basically the elephant in the room, and it is that Elementor brings down your site speed. I am in a ton of blogging communities and website design communities online, specifically Facebook, and people hate on Elementor because they say it just completely drags your site speed down. Now, typically in those Facebook groups, what I'm seeing are people putting Elementor up against the Gutenberg block editor. And they're saying, look, with this theme, with the Gutenberg block editor, it is significantly faster than Elementor. So everyone just needs to abandon page builders and just build with the Gutenberg block editor. If you are in that boat where you are thinking, well, maybe I should be using the Gutenberg block editor over Elementor, let me quote Grayson Bell from iMark Interactive. He says, you have to remember that not everyone cares to learn how to use blocks to build their sites. They care more about the ease of use for themselves. Using Gutenberg has speed advantages, but can be hard for many, and that's where a page builder can come in. It's not always about what makes the site the fastest, it's about what makes it work for the person creating it. And that was the exact situation that I was in. If I have to go through a few extra hoops to make sure that my site speed is optimized through different premium plugins like Short Pixel or WP Rocket or a number of other things, I was totally okay with that because the day-to-day ease of use was worth the trade-off of a few higher points on site speed. Now, site speed is a really big topic because it's not just one plugin that's usually the culprit of a slow website. So if site speed optimization is a topic you'd like to see me cover on this channel, please leave a comment down below so that I can put that on my content calendar and get that filmed for you. Also, if you need some resources about site speed optimization, I've got 2 down in the description below, so be sure to check that out. So now that we've covered the biggest elephant in the room, site speed, let's move on to con number 2, and that is that when Elementor's team rolled out a few of the big updates in the past, there have been some glitches and some headaches for their users. I applaud Elementor because I know that they have great intentions. They're trying to be innovative. They're trying to push out these new features to their end users. However, they need to be more cautious in testing those beta features before launching it to the public. Now that they have more than 5 million active installs, it's more important now than ever to test, and triple test before releasing a big update. Now, if that makes you feel a little bit nervous, it's not that big of a deal if you follow a few best practices. So number 1, always make sure that you have a backup of your website before you make any major plugin changes and updates. So you can always restore your website to the way that it originally was before you made those changes in case anything goes wrong. So that's option number 1. Make sure you have a backup. Option number 2, you can always clone your live site to a staging site, which usually your host will provide for you, and test out all of those changes before implementing any of those changes to your actual live site. And option number 3, you just wait it out. So instead of updating your plugin upon that initial release, you want to wait until the next bug fix comes out before you update your plugin. And then as a 4th and last final resort, you can always roll back your Elementor version in case there was some big major issue. And that brings us to con number 3. Con number 3, unfortunately, is their customer support. And I'm putting it under the con bracket because they have just gotten beat up really in relation to the Elementor 3.0 rollout. There were so many glitches that I don't think they had enough infrastructure and support people on staff in order to handle that many glitches and bugs that went out in the rollout. On top of that, I think that the Elementor plugin is so incredibly popular that it's growing and converting at faster speeds than their support team can make up for it. Now, in the whole debacle of 2020 with Elementor 3.0 rollout, they know that they got beat up on the customer support side, and I have seen them make valiant efforts and improvements from a customer's perspective. Now, I don't work for them, and other than being a user and recommending their tool, I don't know what's going on the back end of their business. But what I have seen from the customer's perspective is they have released a support update in January of 2021, sharing their commitment to their customer support plan, talking about their fundamental efforts to do better. They talk about how they're doubling their team, they're advancing their help desk software, they're investing in their agents, they're deepening their communication between the product and support. So there are efforts coming down the pipeline. And not only that, but they've also recently changed their pricing model so that they can have the resources in order to provide more support on the back end. With all of that said, yes, their support needs improvement, and I put it under the con list, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. At least it isn't for me. There aren't that many occasions where I really need to reach out to their team, but I do know that as a pro user, you do get priority support. So if you are in the boat where you're like, ooh, I need something, I need a lot more support, then you definitely would need to be a pro user in order to get that level of support, but also be scrappy. Rely on YouTube videos like this one and other resources in Facebook groups and communities in order to get the help and support you need if it's not coming fast enough from Elementor. Now, if I were going to give a con number 4, I would say that for the beginner user, there could be a learning curve. Just like with anything new that you try. When you ride a bike for the first time, there's a learning curve. Well, the same is going to be true when you're trying to figure out a new piece of software. Fortunately though, I have an entire YouTube series playlist called How to Build Your WordPress Website with Elementor that will walk you through each step of the process and really help you DIY your dream website with ease. So even though there might be a learning curve, you have no excuse because I'm providing you with some free videos to walk you through step by step what you need to do to get started with Elementor as a beginner. Now that we've addressed the Elementor pros and cons, let's dive into some frequently asked questions. Question number 1, what themes work best with Elementor? Because Elementor is a plugin that works in tandem with your theme, you need to kind of know, well, what theme do I start with in the first place? And technically, Elementor works with all themes that respect the standard coding practices of WordPress. That means that 99.5% of the time, you can keep your existing theme and add Elementor on top of it, and then it will unlock the ability for you to customize parts of your theme that you may have felt limited by before. However, I have come across a few instances where Elementor did not play nicely with the theme. One of my custom design clients wanted to use her existing theme and build with Elementor on top of that, and we found that it worked fine on single pages, but any theme builder element, it was a no. So in that case, we kind of had two options. We either had to keep the theme and ditch Elementor, or we had to get a new theme while also keeping Elementor. So it was kind of a catch-22. Those cases are rare, but I just want to let you know that that's a possibility that you could come across an issue where it's not compatible. Now, if you are starting a brand new website from scratch or you are ready to switch themes and you just want to know what is the fastest possible solution, there are two on the market right now that I really recommend. That is Astra and the Cadence theme. Those two work really well with Elementor and they are extremely fast right out the gate. Of course, there are other themes that work well with Elementor as well. I've used Ocean WP before, Generate Press, things of that nature. However, those other two, Astra and Cadence, are the top two that I'm recommending at this time. Now, the next question you might be asking is, wait, why didn't you recommend Elementor's Hello theme? So Elementor has produced a theme that's like a blank theme where there's no customization options really in the WordPress appearance settings. It's blank and then it completely depends on Elementor for all of the styling and everything. You absolutely can use the Hello theme, but in many of my client situations, they need it for more than just a brochure website. Like they need display ads on their website, or they're gonna be selling digital products with WooCommerce. And so it's nice to have some additional features already baked into a theme and then have Elementor accentuate it on top of it versus having to completely start from a blank theme. So I hope that those two answers kind of cover the what theme should I be using with Elementor. If you have any questions about that, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to address those. The third most frequently asked question that I get all the time is, should I write my blog post in Elementor? And the answer is, No. Under no circumstances should you build and write your blog post in Elementor. So if you're going to use Elementor for your blog, here's kind of how you need to do it. You would need to use the theme builder and have your theme builder build your blog post single page, your archive, and your category archives. So you're gonna have 3 templates that's pulling the styling in. However, all of your blog posts should be written with the Gutenberg editor, or if you have the classic plugin installed, just your classic WordPress editor. Elementor is going to pull that content in dynamically through that template. If you want a video on that, let me know, and I will also create a how to do the whole blog situation with Elementor. All right, the next question is, if I am a blogger, how do display ads work with Elementor? And this is probably a topic that isn't discussed very often, so let's dive into it. If you have less than 10,000 monthly page views, do not worry about display ads whatsoever. Continue to build your website, continue to monetize through affiliate marketing and other avenues, maybe selling your own products or services, things of that nature. But display ads will need to be addressed once you hit that threshold of 10,000 monthly page views, when you can qualify for a premium ad network. Why? Well, Google AdSense is going to clutter your website. It's going to create a terrible user experience for the people that are on your site, and it's going to slow down your site speed. It's just not worth the headache and the hoopla that you've got to jump through in order to get them on your site in the first place. So wait until you hit that premium threshold mark of 10,000 and then go apply for a premium ad network like Monumetric or like Ezoic, things of that nature. And once you hit that 10,000 monthly page view mark and you've been accepted into a premium ad network, you can work with your ad network to have them display the ads on your website. When I did this with my Christian lifestyle blog, I was accepted into Monumetric, and they had no problem putting their ads on my site built with Elementor's template. However, if you have over 50,000 monthly page views and you are with a company like Mediavine, Mediavine actually recommends that you do not use a page builder on your blog pages. So in that case, you would definitely want to use a theme that has a clean design like Cadence or Astra, as I've already recommended, and not using the Elementor blog template on those pages. I have an accompanying blog post that's going to go with this, and in that post you can click into it to find the article from Mediavine that explains why page builders are bad for ad performance. But essentially, they say that page builders break the HTML structure of your blog's code by automatically adding wrapper containers around your post content, making it difficult to effectively target your in-content ads. So if you are using Elementor on your site already and you are about to go into Mediavine, I would just turn off those blog templates and rely on your theme. So now that you kind of have a good overview of what Elementor is, how you can use it, what the pros and cons are, and I've answered your frequently asked questions, I want to know what you think. Is Elementor a tool that you think you should use to build your website in 2021? If it is, and you're ready to take the plunge, go to katyboykin.com/Elementor to get started with a pro plan. If you're still a little hesitant, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so even if you try it and then you decide, nope, I'm out, then you can get your money back. So there's always that, right? And if you have decided that Elementor is the tool to build your website with in 2021 and you want some help with some step-by-step tutorials, be sure to watch this video next.